You either care about them and their well-being or you don't. It's an either or. It is not a gray area. Brant Long here, continuing our advancement into the 7 steps to sales excellence. And step number 1, if you remember, we have identified the fish. We've gone through all the work of identifying the fish. Who is it? And what are the descriptors of the people and organizations that we are truly fishing for out in the marketplace? Step number 2, preparing for the catch. What do I have to go through to prepare myself so that I don't fall into the habit of showing up and throwing up? And how much effort and energy and time am I actually going to put into being prepared for what I expect to encounter on this particular sales call that's coming up? Step number 3 is approach the waters. And we are getting ready to approach the waters, which means we're getting ready to pick up the phone. We're getting ready to send the email. We are getting ready to do the activity and behavior that puts me next to the water where the fish are. Okay? Now, I'm going to back up just a little bit because there's one aspect of preparing for the catch that is, I believe, the most important aspect. What is that, you ask? Preparing your heart. Preparing your heart. Look, everybody can say in every marketing piece, whether it's graphic design or whether it's written content, can say that you actually care. We really like to care about our customers. We really like to be in a position to serve our clients. We are so grateful, blah, blah, blah. You can say anything that you want, but if your heart is not engaged in the actual care and compassion for those that you're serving in the marketplace today, today's buyer can detect that very quickly. Okay? This is an area where you cannot fake it until you make it. You either care about them and their well-being or you don't. It's an either or. It is not a gray area. Okay? So when I talk about being prepared for the catch as it relates to preparing for your heart to actually care about them, here's a question. When you wake up in the morning, are you concerned at all about what's in store for the people who do not have your products and services, who do not understand the value that you bring to the table? It is not their job to understand it until it is your job to prepare to communicate it. Have you practiced any way, shape, or form of communicating the value that you bring to the table and doing that from a heart that actually cares for them? One of the things that I talk to my clients about on a regular basis is the one area where no one can compete with you. No one can compete with you in this particular one area, and that is, can you out-compassion your competition? Can you out-care your competition? Does it show up in the way that you navigate through the call, the way you ask the questions, the way you interact with them? Are you prepared to do that in such a way where you're not putting on a show, you're actually being real, and they know that you're being real based on the depth and the intensity and the severity and the compassion of the questions that you actually ask? One of the things that I have done in my life, and look, I don't do this perfectly. I actually make sales calls on people sometimes where I actually struggle to actually care for them. But I'm still there and I'm still practicing and I'm still trying to get better. I'm just letting you know, it's real. Like, I can tell if I evaluate one of my sales calls, I can tell whether or not my heart of care and compassion actually shined through that day or whether, I was kind of lackadaisical and people can tell. I'm telling you, you work on your heart of care and compassion. You sell from your heart to try to win their heart. It is very noticeable. And it is most noticeable in how you conduct yourself on that call and in the actual questions that you ask people on that call. Now, here's something I want you to think about. If I really cared about somebody and I saw that they had a problem that I can take care of, that I can solve, how would I prepare myself to ask questions on that particular call? Would I be pushy? Would I be obstinate? Would I be aggressive? Would I be like a jerk? Or would I come at that very humbly, very firmly, but also with the heart that says they can tell that I am compassionately pursuing them. I am seeking out their problems and their goals from a heart position of compassion and care. It is recognizable. And I'm just saying, before we approach the waters, don't forget to prepare yourself, your heart, to actually care for the people in front of you. Look, an example of this, I would say, marketing language. When he gets here, he will seek and save those who are lost. Jesus is actually here on the planet, and Jesus is saying, I came to seek and to save that which is lost. Let me ask you some questions. And then the questions came out from the most compassionate heart to ever walk the face of the earth. People may not have liked him, but they couldn't argue with the fact that he had compassion on the people that he identified that matched the criteria of those he was fishing for, and he was well prepared to go make the call on them because he actually cared whether or not they were healed, whether their sight was restored, whether their paralysis was healed, whether they could actually get up and walk or not get up and walk. He actually cared about that. And he cared so much that he also challenged them to go and sin no more. Now, that's a lot to throw at you as an example of compassion and care. I just believe that if we're not preparing our hearts as servants in the marketplace under the heading of salespeople, then we have a lot to learn, a lot to prepare for when it comes to approaching the waters. There's way too many people who run out to the waters because they're going to do something to the people they run into today. Those who actually care, those who actually have compassion, those who actually work from and sell from the heart to win the heart of the other folks, the other people, the other organizations in their life, they're not doing something to somebody. They're doing something with somebody. So remember, you are preparing for the catch, and you're getting ready to do step number 3, approach the waters. What are you going to prepare yourself to show how much you care? And you can't just talk about how much you care. You actually have to believe it and behave it when you show up. That's my encouragement for you today. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck, good selling. God bless.